Good morning. Today, I would like to recommend the book Matilda by Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl is a wonderful children's author because he has a witty sense of humor and he just knows how to get into a child's head and just knows what they're thinking and how they view the world around them, almost as if he never grew up himself. He's written many other children's books, such as The Fantastic Mr. Fox, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, just to name a few. This book is recommended for ages 8 and up, and I would use it for probably about 4th or 5th grade because it's full of a lot of rich and complex vocabulary and probably unfamiliar words that children haven't encountered yet on their own. But what's great about that is with his rich vocabulary, he oftentimes uses a lot of context clues in his writing. So he'll give some synonyms as to what the word means or like a short description of what it means because he's really talking to the reader. He knows the audience and he's like, by the way, this is what this means. And he's also very descriptive about the characters and the setting and everything that's going on. So it's really great to help the reader visualize what they're reading. For example, with the context clues and the description, I wanted to read a little section. It says on page 10, it's bad enough when parents treat ordinary children as though they were scabs and bunions, but it becomes somehow a lot worse when the child in question is extraordinary. And by that, I mean sensitive and brilliant. So there's those context clues there. He says, Matilda was both of these things, but above all, she was brilliant. Her mind was so nimble, and she was so quick to learn that her ability should have been obvious even to the most half-witted of parents. So he's really great in his descriptions of the characters, which would make this book great for doing character analyses for their students. So Matilda is a book about a little girl named Matilda, and she is somewhat a child prodigy. She's extremely intelligent. She loves to read, but unfortunately, she comes from a family that does not appreciate this about her. Her family is interested in other things like just watching TV. Her mother loves to just go out and play bingo, and her dad is a shady used car salesman. So Matilda just doesn't really seem to fit in with her family, and they don't appreciate her intelligence. In fact, they're often quite verbally abusive to her, telling her that she's ignorant, that she's stupid. But Matilda luckily does not let that get her down. In fact, she does decide to get back at her parents for being so ugly to her, which I'll just let you find out for yourselves what she does there. But one thing that Matilda has always really desperately wanted to do is go to school. And at the age of 5, she still hasn't entered school yet when other children should have. And so she begs and begs and begs begs her parents to let her go to school. And so finally, they enroll her in school after the school year has already started. So she's late to start. And I believe she's about 5.5 years old. And once she gets there, she realizes very quickly that this school is not everything that she had expected. She always dreamed that school was going to be this wonderful place where everybody loved to learn and read, and it was just going to be this happy place that was unlike her home life. But once she gets there, she realizes that the Trunchbull, which is the headmistress of the school, is a force to be reckoned with. The Trunchbull hates children. The school is just a drab and dreary place. And Miss Trunchbull is probably even worse than her parents and does some very awful things to the students at the school. And so Matilda quickly realizes that school is just not what she thought it was going to be. But luckily, she does meet one person at school that changes this experience for her, and it's her teacher, Miss Honey. And Miss Honey really realizes the true potential of Matilda. She recognizes how brilliant Matilda is and how intelligent she is, and she thinks that Matilda should be put up in a higher grade, which the Trunchbull quickly thwarts those efforts. But so Miss Honey tries her best to help Matilda reach her true potential and gives her more higher level things to do in class. And they just form this bond that Matilda has desperately needed her whole life. Miss Honey becomes almost like a new mother figure to her that she's always needed. What's awesome though is that Matilda realizes that she has a lot more than smarts. She has something else up her sleeve that she didn't realize, and it just might be good enough to get rid of the Trunchbull for good. So I think you need to go read Matilda and find out just what that is. What I love about Matilda though is that it's so descriptive and it helps you visualize what you're reading. But the main theme of Matilda is that you should always believe in yourself. And that's what I love about the character Matilda. She always believes in herself, even when her parents try to bring her down, even when the Trunchbull tries to bring her down. She still recognizes how great she is, and she doesn't let other people's opinions bring her down or change her own beliefs. And so I think that Matilda is a great example for children to overcome obstacles and to show them that even when others don't believe in them, that they can believe in themselves. And one of my favorite passages in this book I would just like to read real quick is about how much Matilda loves reading, and I think it's wonderful. It's on page 21. It says, "It was pleasant to take a hot drink up to her room and have it beside her as she sat in her silent room reading in the empty house in the afternoons. The books transported her into new worlds and introduced her to amazing people who lived exciting lives. She went on olden day sailing ships with Joseph Conrad. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway and to India with Rudyard Kipling. She traveled all over the world while sitting in her little room in an English village." So I think that that quote just perfectly sums up how great reading can be and what a wonderful tool it can be to travel to all these unknown places. I really hope that Matilda could spark that kind of love for reading in other children. So I recommend that you go out and read this book and find out what kind of magic is hidden in here.